In Kengan Omega Chapter 115, we had the absolute mad lads Joji and Koishi, Cosmo's master, say the following: "Let's go greet the worms that took care of Koga. Yeah, greetings are important. I'm well known for my greetings," implying that we're going to see them fight some worms at some point in the future of the story. Today I decided to explain both of them for people who aren't aware of their power and what they're truly capable of, and pretty much everything we currently know about them in the story. Hope you enjoy. Let's begin with their character profiles, starting with Joji. As we know, he's Koga's relative, a soon-to-be uncle, and he's also a character that first appeared in Fist of the Seeker, which is a prequel to Kengan Ashura, or according to Sando, it's the following: a webcomic I drew in my amateur days, Fist of the Seeker. It's like a prequel to Kengan Ashura, with there being quite a few characters that appear in Kengan Ashura and Omega that first appeared in Fist of the Seeker. His left eye was injured in a fight with a bear while he was training on the mountains, which severely impacted his vision. However, the scratch on that same eye is from a marital dispute, so you know his ex-wife or something must have done that to him. Now on to Koishi, with his skill being breaking bones. You love to see it. Of course, he's Cosmo's master, and unlike Cosmo where he's a master of chokeholds, Koishi is skilled at joint locks. And the rest of the character profile just talks about how he first appeared in Fist of the Seeker as well. He's somewhat hiding his strength as he hasn't had the chance to demonstrate it properly, but he's still strong, and he also appeared in the How Heavy Are Your Dumbbells manga, which is in, of course, the same universe. Now I'll go over some other information about the two that isn't covered in the character profiles. Let's begin with Joji. Of course, his, age is 34 in Fist of the Seeker, but now it's 42 in Kengan Omega, with his height being 184 centimeters and his weight being 96 kilograms. Then we have his nickname, the Poisonous Snake, with him dedicating his whole life to mastering Rokushin Karate, from entering various tournaments, which he has won various tournaments, making him one of the Rokushin 3 in Fist of the Seeker, so considered one of the top 3 in Rokushin Karate. But after getting defeated multiple times, for example against, the Yudra equivalent of the verse, Katsuya, he has pretty much stepped down from participating in these tournaments to rather become a Rokushin Karate instructor. But then in Kengan Omega, we get this panel of Cosmo's master talking about him. This is after he, started to beat on Koga in Koga's training. So Joji, the reason he stopped entering matches was so he could master pure karate, not for competitions. Not only is he still as powerful as he was back when they called him one of the, Rokushin 3, he's still getting stronger by the day. He's the man that stands at the top of Rokushin Karate. I want to say 1 million members, or was it 2 million? Anyway, it's a hell of a lot of people, so you can bet he's gonna be strong. So he's pretty much saying Joji is the pinnacle of Rokushin Karate, which by default puts him as one of the best strikers in the whole verse, because as we know, Wakatsuki, one of the strongest physical-wise characters in the verse, uses Rokushin Karate, and by this, here showing that Joji is probably the most skilled at this very same karate, which is very impressive. And of course, even after, leaving the tournament and getting older, he's still, improving. And regarding his age, even though he does look a lot older, he's actually the same age as Wakatsuki. So yeah, he still has many years to improve, and of course is getting stronger by this, panel. And even before this unknown improvement he has gone through over like the last 8 years, we already could kind of consider him a top level fighter based on Fist of the Seeker comparisons to Kengan characters. So right now he could very well be, an S tier fighter close to the top of the verse. Cannot wait to see him mess up some worms or actually fight a top tier worm at some point. Now to talk about Kuishi. His age in Fist of the Seeker was 26, but now in Omega he's 34. His height is 175 centimeters and his weight is 69 kilograms. And apart from being Cosmo's master, he's now Adam Dudley's master and most likely one of Koga's masters as well. Apart from that, he's known as a prodigy in the Japanese MMA spear, be considered one of the top 10 MMA fighters in Japan, and most likely is, you know, a lot higher than top 10, considering we don't really know what he's truly capable of. But regardless, he's more of a, you know, real world fighter rather than the underground from what we've, you know, heard about him so far in the story. And of course, he participated in the Rokushin Karate tournament from Fist of the Seeker. Apart from all that, he's also a chiropractor, which, you know, is very interesting considering his, you know, love to, you know, break people's bones. So yeah, that's, you know, quite sus. And apart from breaking people's bones, which is actually his fetish, which was realized at the age of 2, he actually gets aroused from, you know, fighting strong opponents and actually breaking people's bones. So man is a little bit of a psychopath. We haven't really got this implied too much in, you know, Kengan Ashura or Kengan Mega, but if you look at his fights in, you know, Fist of the Seeker, where he actually breaks people's bones, man is an absolute psycho, and we're most likely going to see that when he has his fights against the worms, or whenever we actually get to see him fight properly in, you know, Kengan Omega, if we do get that. Hopefully we do, considering what happened in chapter 115. And we also learned that he participated as a gladiator for Purgatory in his younger years, but that was only to get money and wasn't really around for that long and doesn't really know too much about it after, you know, having that, I'm guessing, one match. Regarding his power and abilities, I'm going to assume he's one of the best grapplers in the series, considering he's Cosmo's master, who as well is one of the best grapplers in the series. And as we know, Cosmo is called a genius by various characters, but in some conversations we get between Koishi and Cosmo, we have him saying that you may be a genius, but I'm a super genius, and he's like the character Cosmo is looking up to eventually surpass, and I still don't think he's surpassed him to this day in Kengan Omega. And at this point, Omega Cosmo is probably an absolute monster. Even in the later rounds of Kengan Ashura, Cosmo was becoming a monster with his development of foresight. And if Koishi is still, if not a little bit above current Cosmo, he is definitely a top tier, potentially S tier fighter in the verse alongside Joji. So in short, we have Koishi, who's probably an S tier grappler and overall fighter in the verse, as, you know, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master, and of course his mixed martial art experience and his, you know, joint lock specialty. And then we have Joji, who's pretty much the pinnacle of Rokushin Karate currently in the story, and probably has the most skill in that certain, you know, karate striking field, which is very impressive. And of course, they're probably two of the most experienced fighters we have in the Kenganverse, even though we haven't seen them, you know, properly fight anyone in Kengan Ashura or Kengan Mega. But that is most likely coming soon. Cannot wait for that. But that should be everything for today's video. Hope this, you know, was enjoyable. Hope this cleared up some stuff about the two. As always, shout out to the people who support the channel via the Patreon. But yep, that's it guys. Peace.